Hello everybody. Toni Salazar wrote to me and asked if I would model an Adidas Brazuca ball, which is the official ball of this year's World Cup in Brazil. I must say this was one of the bigger challenges I had lately, and I would like to show you how I did it. When you look at this here, then I think the seam I did is a bit too sharp. I did it with a round level of 2, and I think if I look at the photograph, it seems to be more roundish. So in the tutorial I will do it with a round level of 1. So if you want to give it a try yourself, then stop the video here. Otherwise, welcome to a new tutorial. So I delete this mesh and show you what I already prepared. First, the backdrop is when you search for Brazuca and template, you will find this as the first picture, and I just removed the black background of it. And what I also did, I put the grid, I put it so the center here is in the center of the world. Then I prepared this cross here, which is pretty easy to do. There are certain things you must know, because 6 of these patches have to be put together. All the sides here have to have the same number. So this is 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is something to be aware of. Then this corner here has to be supported a bit. And finally, this part has to be moved in, so we match the backdrop also when we subdivide this item. So that's it, let's start. We don't need to see this. First, I copy this, Control C, N for a new mesh, Control V, and bring my background in. That's something I forgot to mention. You see, I have made a sphere which matches exactly one of these patches, and have subdivided it a couple of times, and I will use it as my background. Okay, go back to my ball, Control V. There was no need to make a new mesh, so we can delete this one and use the old one we had. Okay, so first perspective, W key, we don't need the backdrop, and go to polygon mode, W key, and I lift this up. No need to see the grid. And the first thing is I make this a bit smaller. So R key and resize it to 99% to give Modo a chance to cope with my inaccuracies and eyeballing of centers and things like this. So W key, but first F11, constraint to background with double-sided and vector, and now W key, bring this down to here. That's good. We don't need the sphere, and I would like to see my pipeline. We don't need a background constraint. And now really the problems have started, because we must radial array this shape around this vertex here as you might remember from the photograph, and this turned out to be not so easy. You could think, yeah, well, we'd just take this vertex, align the work plane to this selection, then check where we have this here, then duplicate radial array count of 3 in Z, action center origin, and that's not good. Do it again. Duplicate radial array count of 3 Z, action center origin, and click in the viewport, and you see we get a complete mess and definitely not what we are expecting. I will show you how to do this. So Control Z. So I go to Basic and Shift click on the cube, A key, so we see it. And in top view, I Control rotate this 45 degrees, and then go to the right view and bring in my grid, rotate this till these two corners are opposite each other. To make sure that they really match, I go to top view, wireframe mode, and then zoom in, and then rotate it around the X only. Control click on here and make sure this really matches, like so. Next, we can rotate this so this passes exactly the corner I was describing before, and then we can press the D key once, and now we have the words we need to align our work plane, namely this one and this one. So work plane aligned to selection, go to our ball, go back to OpenGL. We don't need to see the cube, and let's see in what view. In this one. Now we can duplicate radial array count of 3 around the X-axis, action center origin, and click in the viewport, and you see now it already looks a lot better. So reset the work plane, top view again, and I take this one, 3, make really sure the work plane is reset, yes. So shift up arrow to here, then we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and the other one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we don't need the grid. And now I can invert this selection and delete everything. In this step, I will align the vertices so they will match when we do the same as we just did the next time. So I think wireframe mode is better here. And remember, when you want to select through in wireframe mode, you must use the right mouse button, not the middle one. So I start here, select these 3, vertex, join averaged, then these 2, join averaged, these 2, join averaged, these 2, join averaged, and these 2 Okay, now this is done and we can delete the outer polys, so delete these, and now we have a wing which should exactly match with all the others. If you want to tidy up these vertices a bit, you can go to the topo and enable the background. And make sure you do not touch any of the outer vertices, just the ones in the middle. Otherwise, all the work we did is for nothing. So, like this one bit, this one a bit, and this one a bit, and we leave the rest be. That's fine. So back to the Model tab. We don't need the background for the time being. Top view. First we must duplicate a radial array, count to 4 around the Y, action center origin, and click in the viewport. Now we can go to vertex, merge, automatic will probably not work, I make it fixed, 1 millimeter, 12 have merged, good. Now back to our cube, A key again, wireframe mode, select our two reference vertices, go back to the ball, work plane align, that's important, and here this view, back to the ball, back to advanced OpenGL, and now the moment of truth is coming, but first, before I continue here, I need to take these edges and select, assign selection set, call it seam. Okay, so we can use that later. Then we can duplicate radial array, count of 3 along the X, action center origin, click in the viewport and look how well this all matches. Reset the work plane and go to front view or back, maybe back is better. Then select everything. Duplicate, radial, no. Select everything, copy, Control V, E key. Make sure we are action center origin. There is a tiny difference, but there is a difference. Now we can rotate this by -180. And then around the Y to -90, good. And we should now be able to merge these vertices. So let's try that. Vertex, merge, fixed 1 millimeter. Okay. And let's check if everything has merged. Yeah, looks good. Then next step is I will resize this, make it a bit smaller, bring back my background, press the D key once to subdivide it once more, F11, constraint to background with vector and double-sided, and bring this out to 300%. And here we are. We don't need the background anymore. And now we must put in the seams. And as I said, this time I will try, we need to be in edge mode. So use selection set, seam, OK. I will bevel this with a round level of 1 and see if I get a better result. So B for bevel, click in the viewport, make a round level of 1, and I make just a tiny little bevel, maybe 0.05 millimeters. And then I Alt 3 this, and now bevel this out on the blue handle till it looks right, like about so. I think that's a much better result than the first one I had. So that's it. This year's World Cup ball with the craziest shape a ball has ever had, and which caused me quite some headache to model. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Take care and have fun modeling with Modo. See you some other time.